meditation is popular these days, I guess you could say. A lot of people talk about meditation and also about mindfulness. But what exactly is meditation and what's mindfulness? The first thing is, a lot of people seem to be confused about what meditation is. Okay? And a lot of people seem to confuse meditation with concentration. I was watching a video not so long ago where the guy says, I meditate about my goals. Well, that's not meditation. That's thinking about your goals or concentrating on your goals. But what exactly is meditation? I'll tell you very, very simply. Meditation is putting your mind on one point, and then as your mind deviates, you bring your mind back to that point. So what a lot of people do wrong with meditation is they think about meditation in terms of my eyes closed, focusing on this thing all the time. And the moment the mind deviates, people think, oh, I'm not meditating, okay? So you have a lot of people who are too hard on what meditation is. And then you have other people who think they're meditating when they're thinking about the stock market, okay? Those both are wrong, okay? The actual important thing is bringing your mind back home, not the point. You see, it's almost impossible to keep your mind on one point in this for very long. And there's a very logical reason for that. Your mind is designed to be heuristic. That's Heuristic, heuristic, which means I might say cat and you say cold, and I say dog and you say bold. Okay, so different associations. And that heuristic thinking allows us to make associations. But that association thinking is always there. And so our mind is like a thinking box or thinking machine. So trying to stay on one point for very long is very difficult for most people. Some people have great powers of concentration, and really, if you can keep your mind on one point for very long, you're a great concentrator. I wouldn't say you're a great meditator. The actual meditation is the effort of bringing your mind back to that one point. You keep thinking that one point. As your mind deviates, you bring your mind back to that one point. Now, I give you another example of this. Let's say I go to a gym and I want to develop big muscles in my arms, okay? I grab a barbell and I do barbell curls, okay? Now, it's not the weight that's making my arms big. It's the resistance, because when I bring my arms down, gravity is bringing my arms down, and I'm resisting the weight on the way down, so I don't just drop the weight. And then I have to squeeze my biceps on the way up, okay? And so the weight is always a factor, but I'm using the weight as resistance. It's not the weight. It doesn't matter whether I'm lifting 10 pounds or 50 pounds or 100 pounds. That doesn't matter. What matters is the resistance on my biceps, on my arms, okay? So I'm using the weights as a resistance, okay? I'm not going to the gym because I want to lift weights. Otherwise, we'd have some weird kind of thing where people just wander around the gym lifting weights, putting them up, lifting them down, and there's nothing beyond it. They just love weights. No, you're going to use the weights as a tool. The same thing with meditation. You're focusing on one thing, and you're using that as a tool. Now, what is it that you're trying to achieve with meditation? What you're trying to achieve with meditation is to consolidate your thoughts. Okay, like a laser beam, you're trying to make your thoughts more and more and more concentrated on one point and one thing. That's the idea, because we tend to get scattered, we get pulled all over the place. And if you think of a person as there's a kind of a centrifugal force, we become decentered and we end up all over the place. And our mind is like, our mind is just zipping away all the time. We can't stop our thoughts. We want to do one thing, then we want to do another. Our emotions are all over the place. We're very unbalanced. And what meditation does is this exercise of sitting down and thinking about one thing, and then it's okay that I drift, I go back. I drift, I go back. I drift, I go back. The actual process of meditation is bringing the mind back to that point. And if you practice over a long time, eventually a stage will come where quite big periods of time, you'll be able to absorb your mind into that one point, okay? And if you get deeply absorbed into one point, we call that samadhi. And samadhi is whereby, boom, no thoughts. And then you're like, oh, where was I? That's samadhi, okay? So you get so focused on that one thing, okay? So that's basically it, meditations. You can actually meditate on a flame. You can meditate, you can put a dot on a piece of paper, meditate on that. So you can meditate on all sorts of things. People use a mantra, like a phrase they use, etc. The thing which I prefer to meditate on, there's a system of meditation called heartfulness meditation, so heartfulness.org, and that's got a spiritual transmission attached. You're receiving an energy into the heart. Okay, so I call most meditation internal. You're just using your mind to focus on something, and then as you go off, you go back and go off and go back. In the case of heartfulness meditation, it's a very rare type of meditation where there's a spiritual energy directed, and you tune into that energy, and the energy helps you evolve spiritually. Okay, so it's a little bit different. If you want to check it out, it's free, heartfulness.org meditation. So back to meditation. What's the benefits of meditation? The benefits obviously is that you're going to go, instead of being all over here, you're going to go back to being here. You're going to get more concentrated, and you become more and more strong, more and more focused. Your mind becomes sharper. Your mind becomes more powerful. You become calmer because if, let's say, for example, a lot of hustle bustle, you can sit down and get back into that meditative state, okay? And you can calm down and get into that meditation, whatever that meditation is, concentrating on your mantra, thinking about an idea, like in heartfulness meditation, we have light in the heart, thinking about an abstract concept. There's so many different types of meditation. The point is, you center yourself to meditation. So the problem human beings have is we're kind of gyroscopic. We're just gyrating around the place. And what meditation does, it consolidates because this heuristic thinking, we tend to go all over the place. And so it consolidates us, it makes it more solid. It will make your brain sharper. It will increase your ability to understand things, see things, and understand the wood for the trees when you're looking at different life situations. So there's a lot of benefits to meditation, like calmness, mental peace, focus, concentration. All these things can come from meditation, okay? And some people meditate naturally. Some people find it very easy to just focus on that one thing, all right? But even if you find it very difficult, it's the effort of going back to that one thing will develop those meditative muscles. And meditative muscles are nothing more than the ability to focus on one thing, or try to focus on one thing and try and remain in that one state. Now, how is that different from concentration? You see, I could be very good at concentration. Let's say, for example, a surgeon, for example, usually very good at concentration. And I might be able to put a dot in the wall and I concentrate on that dot in the wall. But it's a kind of a mental skill that person just has. But if we talk about meditation as such, it's not so much that I just have an innate ability to concentrate on something. I'm bringing my mind to that thing, and my mind will tend to wander and I bring it back. Now, the person who's naturally very good at concentration is already able to do that to a great degree, but they can still get a benefit by meditating, by focusing on one thing, and eventually, even they will find, if you sit down and meditate for an hour, if you concentrate for an hour, eventually you will lose focus. So somebody who's got really good concentration might lose focus after 20 minutes. Somebody who's got very bad focus might lose concentration after 10 seconds. Now, if you're starting meditation initially and you're not very good at meditation, you might just want to meditate for 10 minutes. If you're somebody who's got super duper concentration, try an hour. But I tell you, sooner or later you'll find it difficult. And when you find it difficult and you have to bring your mind back to it, that's the meditative process. And that process, I don't care how good you are at concentrating, it'll make you better at that concentration process, at developing that sharpness and that focus of mind, okay? Now, the other thing is we've got mindfulness. And personally, I think that if you just do meditation on its own, it has benefits. And the benefits are obviously they're going to have more concentration and you're going to be more focused. But what about mindfulness? And what mindfulness is basically about is the idea that I'm here now in the moment and I'm experiencing whatever I'm focusing. So my mind is full of the ness of the now, okay? I'm here now, okay? That is mindfulness. Now, why would I say mindfulness is more important than meditation? Meditation is a tool for training your mind, okay? And as we can see, it will give you things like it will boost your concentration. And there's the kind of a link between concentration and meditation. But meditation has many different possibilities from the point of view of it's not just concentration and you can go deeper into things and get insights and intuitions and stuff, whereas concentration is concentration. Concentration is pure capacity. Meditation is about training the mind to come back to its center, okay? A little bit different. But on its own, you're just going to become more efficient, okay? So for example, people who do TM, Transcendental Meditation, they're going to train their mind through a mantra to become more efficient. But where is it taking them? And where mindfulness is is it's becoming aware of your being, of being a human being in the now, and it deals with your feelings and how you're opening to your experiences. So it takes it to a deeper mental, emotional level. Now we can go to another level, it's a spiritual meditation, and spiritual meditation is basically the remembrance of God, which is the highest level. But let's just get on to mindfulness in this video for now, okay? So what I like about mindfulness is that instead of just becoming a more efficient person, I become a person who's more aware of what I'm thinking and feeling now, and I become more aware of the people around me, and I become more aware of the experiences that I'm having. That is mindful. So we live in a society where we tend to repress our emotions a lot, and we are, toning down our feelings because we're in denial of so much, we're not aware of so much. So in mindfulness, you become aware of, I am here now. Okay? So as I sit in this room now, I can hear there's a radio playing in the distance. I'll start becoming aware of that. I hear the birds outside. I start becoming aware of that. So a lot of the time we're kind of in our head, focused, for example, on our work. But with mindfulness, we're becoming more aware of the now. And that might mean I become more aware of, I don't feel so comfortable. I don't feel so happy. I have some fears. I have some anxieties. And starting to feel who you are, even all warts and all, right here, right now. But also opens you to feeling things like bliss, things like appreciating the presence of somebody else, being able to sit and appreciate nature, being able to sit and appreciate the experience of holding hands with somebody, or just sitting beside somebody, or remembering somebody. All this comes with mindfulness. And how mindfulness taps into meditation is that meditation on its own is developing your mind. But mindfulness is about taking that improved conscious awareness that you're getting via meditation, and you're using that to become more aware in the moment of who am I now. And for example, there's a famous guru in India, he died maybe 100 years ago, the Ramana Maharishi, and he used to have this idea of saying, who am I? Okay? So mindfulness, we're kind of looking at that area. And I do believe we can go beyond mindfulness deep into spirituality. But just on mindfulness, who am I now? What am I now? What am I experiencing now? And just becoming aware of the now. And then even going beyond, dropping the me, dropping the I, just awareness. Okay? So this is using the power of your mind, which develops in meditation, through mindfulness. And the one little last thing I want to share here, and how we're always learning. I've been doing meditation since 1999. And even just recently, I was having an issue whereby I had chores, and I hate doing certain chores, whether it might be cleaning the house, doing accounts, if I work as a teacher, if I have a whole day of teaching, feeling a bit stressed out about having all of those classes, and I would grit my teeth and I would survive. And only this year, I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm still getting different insights. And the insight I got recently last year was, why am I resisting that I have all those classes? Why am I resisting those chores? Why am I resisting this paperwork I don't like doing? Just do it and go with it without judgment. This is mindfulness, okay? I'm not judging, I'm just going with the flow and going with it, okay? And what I found was by doing that, I had a lot more energy and power, because previous to that, I was kind of fighting myself by gritting and baring my teeth, and I'm somehow going to get through today. And instead, my feeling changed to one of, I'll go with the flow today, and I will just go with it. Now, this is where we really get into mindfulness, is the benefit of being grounded and at peace all the time. And what I mean by that is that I'm not resisting my experiences. When I resist my experiences, it causes suffering. Okay, so let's say, for example, I'm in the dentist and dentist work my teeth and it's painful. And I'm going to grit and bear it. Well, I'm using my willpower and I'm forcing myself, and it's very tough. And I'm suffering a lot. But let's say I just go with the flow and says, it's okay. I surrender to the dentist. I'm in the dentist, he's working my teeth, it doesn't feel very comfortable. I got that cement taste in my mouth, I got some pain in my tooth. It's okay, I'm just going to go with it. It's going to come, it's going to go. There's a nice saying, this too will pass. So this experience will pass. All good and bad experiences will pass. And that's the great thing about living in the world of change that we do, that everything, either good or bad, passes eventually. So I'll sit with it, I'll work through it. and I won't fight it or resist it. When you do that, suffering will go away. Okay? And if you want to be a calm person, a person who's peaceful and happy in every situation, then mindfulness is the key. Now we can go higher, as I said, we can go deeper into spirituality, which is a wonderful thing. But I'm just saying very much so you can use things like do meditate, try and meditate on a daily basis. But don't just meditate for the sake of, I feel, this is nice, I feel meditation. Then you're only making yourself happy for 10 minutes or 1 hour. But if I can extend that, because what happens with meditation is it starts changing the fabric of your consciousness. Your consciousness starts becoming aware of things you weren't aware of before, being able to be peaceful, not react so much. And if you start thinking in the terms of mindfulness and trying to be with my experiences in the now, and I'm just trying to be now, I'm observing now, and you can read lots of nice books and literature in the area of mindfulness that will help you kind of zone in and think in the different ways. And then what you're starting to do is starting to open up to your experiences. And now you're using meditation. Again, back to the gym, if I just keep on doing weight training and getting big muscles, it's useful in a way. It's nice to have big muscles. But am I going to do something with them? Am I going to lift weights? Or am I going to show my muscles off in a bodybuilding competition now? Is there some use for it? Or am I just building big muscles? And to what degree do I need them? Okay, so everything has to have some use. Of course, you can do weight training just for health, of course. But that's also use. But then would you need to train 5 hours a day lifting weights for that? Maybe not. So a lot of people kind of get addicted to meditation and they're just like, I like meditating and I meditate for hours. But that in itself is no use. The meditation is developing something, but then when we take that something and we try and expand the meditative states into our daily life, you should get to a stage whereby you can go into a busy train station and meditate. And you should get to the stage whereby you can be in a busy train station and everything's gone wrong and you're late for the train, somebody's shouting at you, everything like that. And you sit down, you meditate for a minute or two and you ground yourself back, and then you walk around that busy station and you're peaceful and calm even though things are hectic. Everybody around you is wild, but you are gyrating in a small circle. You are still concentrated because there's a focus to your meditation. So meditation its own is a technique, but the thing is to focus on trying to not resist my experiences. And when I become kind of an observer of my experiences, and I try not to resist my experiences, I become more and more mindful. And this, of course, develops that wonderful thing of gratitude for life. And gratitude for life develops empathy. And the more empathy we have, the bigger our circle of influence, the bigger and more expansive human being and happier, more jolly human being we're going to be. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack in what I just said. So just to summarize very quickly, thinking about one thing is concentration. Meditation is trying to think about one thing, and as your mind deviates, you bring it back, and that develops the focus to mind. And even someone with great concentration, they could just still do a meditation or different types of meditation and still have eventually get to the stage where their concentration's failing and they use to bring the mind back to further develop and enhance their mental abilities. Meditation on its own will make you more concentrated, more calm, more focused. But on its own, that's all it is. You need to get into mindfulness to take it to the next level. And mindfulness is basically opening up to experience. A lot of nice literature about it, which will help you tune into what mindfulness is. But tuning into the moment and experiencing reality now. What's happened to me right now. And you can only live in the moment anyway. And when you do that, you become more grateful, more expansive, more empathetic human being, and you'll be able to develop an inner calmness, which is with you always. Okay? And that is meditation, that is mindfulness. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll talk to you next time.